So as I've discussed in my other series of vlogs, manufacturing caused a concentration of the population to various urban areas. And as a result of that, you had these barracks type communities erected, which sometimes had external access to the earth. You could buy vegetables at vegetable stands. There were aspects of self-sufficiency that existed alongside with manufacturing. However, the trend was more in favor of these various forms of communities that had little or no access to the earth at all. Very small size yards that you could, wouldn't require too much time to take care of. You could keep them nice and neat and well manicured. And one of the leading I can't think of the word. Well, anyway, Henry Ford, of course, Ford Motor Plant, is attributed with the idea of conveyor belt manufacturing. So you could mass produce his Ford automobiles. I guess the Model A 1929. And one of the things that Henry Ford had as a policy of the company was that the employees, which were all men at the time, had to be family men. They had to have dinner with their family, and then pray at the dinner table, and then afterwards sit around and read the Bible, go to bed, and then wake up and go to work again. There was no other solution for subsistence or sustenance, however you want to look at it, than manufacturing jobs. This became self-perpetuating by the concentrations of the population in these forms of community. And one of the things that Henry Ford actually did was he used to do like pop quizzes for his male employees. He used to actually go to the house unannounced, go inside the house and make sure that the people prayed at the supper table, made sure that they read the Bible afterwards, made sure that there was no alcohol whatsoever on the premises. And if any of those things were violated, the person was fired. So on the one hand, you could look at it like, well, geez, what does that say about these traditional family values? You could drop dead and so could your family, if you break my rules. If you're going to be drinking or you're not going to be reading the Bible or whatnot, So it's this whole idea of he must be punished. Punishment. Punish. It's the panacea to everything. He must be punished. Now, another aspect of this thing, and what is an immediate result, aside from you have little or no possibility of time or whatnot to grow your own food. Where do you get your heating from? It used to be, well, you cut down some wood, and maybe somebody build a fire next to the side of a coal vein out of the side of the hill, and this coal started burning, and they discovered, well, this burns pretty good. It burns longer than the wood. It's hotter. Let's dig this out here and burn this. And people started mining for coal and whatnot, and so they had that. There were mines close to the various communities. Until you get into the situation where you had to truck these things in. And then eventually people went to oil, home heating oil, And from that, they moved to natural gas. And now, in this area that I'm in the Triple Cities, the southern tier of New York, there's this hydrofracking craze. These companies come in and essentially drill sideways underneath the earth to find these deposits of natural gas. Because, I mean, after all, what are these people going to do? How are they going to keep warm in the Northeast, in the north part of the country? Where are they going to get their fuel from? They're going to either have to pipe it in, like they're doing with this controversial pipeline now in the western part of the state, or they're going to have to do this hydrofracking, and people are opposed to it. I'm opposed to it too, because essentially the trend that you're heading towards is to honeycomb the earth, to just dig out all the resources, dig out the water, dig out the coal, natural gas, oil, whatever is underneath the ground, just dig it out. The whole thing will be a honeycomb and eventually collapse. But hey, what the hell? We got the space program, so you know, hopefully we'll make a flying saucer or whatever and take off into outer space before the whole thing collapses. So then the people that get into this trip, Exxon oil company, Chevron, whatever, they figure, well, you know, we're going to be dead by that time. It's not going to make any difference. But they contribute to the whole thing. They contribute to the idea. And they're not going to do anything different unless you make them do something different, or unless you come up with a solution. Well, these are the sorts of things that that happens when you become reliant upon, and you beg the government, oh, please, we need more coal, we need more oil, we're freezing to death. These are the sorts of things that you get into. And at the whole time, people are ignoring the sun. The sun is everywhere. Regardless of whether you have access to the earth, whether you have heat from fossil fuel, you're always going to have the sun. You can't have plants without the sun, okay? But then on the other hand, you got these people that are like, well, who needs plants? We got oil. We want to blacktop the whole goddamn earth. We ain't got no time for this grass and dirt and all that. What do we need that for? You know, I worked at a street department once, and I came back from lunch, and all of these guys were around this table, and they're all going, oh, Jesus, oh, God, look at that. Holy shit, man. Whoa, that is beautiful. Well, I thought they were looking at a fuck book or something, you know. I go over and I look at it, and it's a picture of a parking lot. It's a fold out in a magazine, and it's a picture of a parking lot. It's this huge, massive parking lot at some factory or grocery store or something like that. I mean, just this immense area of blacktop, and that's what they're, oh, wow, that's beautiful. Look at that, you know? And it's like, I look at this magazine, I close it, and it's blacktop. That's the magazine. I mean, how could people become so interested? You know, heterosexual men, you know, the virility of the, you know, and it's like they're going ape shit over blacktop, over this magazine Blacktop. It's like, how do they do that? Well, I have a family. I take care of my family. I got a wife at home. You know, it's insane.